Hello, all you professional wrestling fans. Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak, your home for any and everything professional wrestling. I am Ryan, as always, being joined by my co host Nathan. And we're going to be talking about a little WWE this week, like we always do with the week that was in WWE. We had the semifinals for King and Queen of the Ring this week, plus some NXT action and a little bit of news and stuff. So let's get into all of this that happened this week.
Yeah, so what did you think about the semifinals on Raw, Ryan? It was
Um,
pretty. That was a couple pretty good matches.
yeah, I mean, Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria just tore the house down. Uh,
Yeah,
their match was phenomenal. Lyra got the job done, which kind of was shocking. Because I think, you know, I think a lot of people thought Io Sky could have done it, but they were pushing Lyra out of the gates like a bat out of hell. I'm not mad at it. She had a really good match here, and yeah. And then the other semifinal match on this show was Gunther versus Jey Uso, which a lot of people thought Jey was going to win this thing, and I'm actually happy Gunther won. Uh, I feel like it would have been overkill to have Jey Uso beat Gunther. He already beat Ilya, which was kind of a weird decision. But Gunther wins. Very good match as well. Raw was pretty good. I mean, they had a lot of good matches on this show. So, but both the semifinal matches were pretty good.
yeah, Jey Uso. I mean, they like we talked about last week. They needed him to have a big win because he was drafted number one by Raw. They got to justify that.
Yeah,
So I was actually kind of surprised they had Jey lose because Gunther had that long reign as IC champ, and I thought maybe this would be Jey's first singles thing as King of the Ring, but you know it was not meant to be. Gunther got the W, and I mean it led to a really good match at the pay per view. So I mean I can't be mad at it.
yeah, yeah. That the King. We'll get into that later on in the week about the King and Queen of the Ring pay per view. But yeah, Gunther and Lyra won. I think they're very good picks for Raw to make it to the finals. Uh, Other matches that happened on Raw, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable wrestled with Gable winning clean, kind of. I mean, Otis helped Zayn win, but still, Gable pinned Zayn heading into King and Queen of the Ring with that big triple threat match. Gable
Yeah,
turned into Shang Tsung on this episode of Raw. He was saying he was going to take Sami Zayn's soul.
yeah. What the hell?
Other,
Before that though, before that he was sounding a lot like Kurt Angle a couple times. Like some of the things he
yeah,
was saying, the way he was saying them,
yeah,
like. But eventually, you got to give him a win if you wanted to be Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle, he was pushed out the gate.
yeah,
So if you wanted to be Kurt Angle 2.0, got to give him something.
for sure. He's adopted the "You Suck" chant, and like the crowd just started chanting it, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like forced by WWE. The crowd just started chanting "You suck" at him. Oh, that was really cool. Braun Breaker killed a dude on this episode of Raw. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. What the hell, man? Like, Braun
I
Breaker
don't think.
just Jesus.
Well, they wanted to, they want to show that he's pissed off about fighting squash guys, and
Yeah,
this is a way to do it.
yeah, for sure.
Uh, there's rumors that he could get traded back to SmackDown because that'd be like the general manager's way of dealing with him. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how I'd feel about that, but that
Well,
was the rumor.
yeah, I don't know about that. I hope that doesn't happen. Uh,
Yeah.
Elsewhere, the Awesome Truth defeated the Judgment Day to retain the World Tag Team Championships. We had a fatal four-way women's tag team match to determine a future women's tag team title opportunity, won by Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Also in this match were Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Damage Control, and Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. And that's about it. That's all the matches that happened. We only had 6 matches on this show, but every match was pretty good. Uh, I like the new
My
3 hour Raws under Triple H are a lot different because he kind of books it as like a 2 hour show. He just lets the wrestlers go a little longer.
right.
So I like 3 hour Raws under Triple H.
Uh, my only question on this show is where the hell is uh is Dragon Lee injured?
I
Like legitimately?
I think so. I don't know. None of the LWO were on this show,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
because Dragon Lee could be a big star if they let him, but they haven't really been showing him much since they came to Raw.
Yeah, I mean Carlito was in
And I
Carlito trying to get with Judgment Day, but yeah, I don't know where Dragon Lee. I assume he's got to be injured. Why
yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't put him on the show if he, you know what I mean. So I assume he's injured.
You think Ricochet should be doing a little more?
Yeah, I mean that was comments that we get comments made by Will Ospreay over the weekend or over the week kind of made the rounds with him talking about how Ricochet's being used. He says it's not, he should be used better than being on a 3 minute show, which I can get it. I understand it, but I mean, he may not be winning stuff, but he's prominent on the show a lot. I mean, he's not on the show every week, but he's there. Everyone he was in the King of the Ring tournament. He was in matches for the Intercontinental title, so he could be used better. But I think his only issue is like he can't really talk that well.
Right.
He's just a wrestler. He can do some cool stuff, but I'm a big fan of Ricochet. But if he left, I don't really think it'd make that big. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I don't know if he'll leave. I think he'll stay. His wife works there, or girlfriend or whatever, so makes traveling easier if you're traveling together.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, they obviously trust him if they're put the speed championship on him as a guy to like build that show around. So I mean, they obviously think he has something to offer. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know that was a big topic of this week about talking about Ricochet and whether he's being used correctly. But I don't know if he'd go, like, let's say he goes to our AEW. Is he going to be used any better over there?
Well, here's how I see it. I think that trope of not being able to talk it should be dead
Yeah,
because you can book. We've seen plenty of times where a guy that's not a great on the mic can be booked as a star because we've seen it in other promotions. We've seen it in WWE a couple times. I mean, look at Brock Lesnar. Uh, but like Rob Van Dam in ECW, biggest star in ECW, he couldn't talk that well. Uh, Ricochet, when he was Prince Puma, he didn't talk at all, hardly in that Lucha Underground show, but he was
that's
booked
true.
as the main event star there. I think he could be used a lot better in WWE. I kind of agree with Will Ospreay on this because he's definitely your best high flyer. He's he when he comes out, the crowd pops, and and he doesn't mess up much. He's very silky smooth in the ring, and I really think that he could. Like he's been Intercontinental Champion, he's been United States Champion, but he hasn't like his reigns weren't that memorable,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's on him. I think it's on the booking, and I think he should have a really good reign with one of those belts, or He never really contends for the title. I'm like, it's not that he never even wins it. He never really even contends for the WWE Championship or the World Championship. You gotta at least have him go after it a couple times or look like a threat to go after it.
Yeah.
You know. But that's my feelings on it. I kind of agree with Ospreay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he could definitely be used better. But I mean, that's the problem with WWE. I mean, you've got so many people and so many. There's only so many spots, and so like I know, but I mean, like I said, they obviously think a lot of them. I mean, they're building a whole. I mean, yeah, it's 3 minutes, but still, they're building a whole show around him essentially. So I mean, that whatever. I don't know. It's weird. Definitely weird that he doesn't get more. It's weird too because they'll go through phases where he'll be on TV every day, every week for a while, and then he won't be on TV for a long time. It's
Yeah.
like he gets his
Um,
moments, and then because he had that big thing with Logan Paul last year, and he had his big, and then he kind of disappears for a while. So it's just weird. It's weird
right.
how they do it.
But he's just like Rob Van Dam, man.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to NXT before we get to the show. We have some news. Julia, who is going to be making her NXT debut soon, injured herself wrestling for Rossi Agassi show Marigold Fields Forever. God, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that's the name of a wrestling company. Um, the Marigold Fields Forever show. It is being reported now that Tuesday she is going to be having surgery. She broke a bone in her wrist. And so she was told, this is a quote, that day my arm bent in the opposite direction, and as a result, I broke a bone. I was told that surgery would be the fastest recovery. And so she said this is the first time she's ever going to have surgery and be hospitalized. So I don't know. We don't know the recovery time. We don't know how long she's going to be gone. I know she was scheduled reportedly to make her NXT debut at Heatwave, which is in August, I think. Uh, so we've got a couple months. So if she still is recovering, but I don't know how fast you can recover from a broken wrist and wrist surgery. I don't know what the recovery time's like. So we'll see what that means. I know it's gonna be interesting to see if she can still be in it. I mean, I'm sure she'll still make her debut, but she may not wrestle. But we'll see. So that's kind of sucks for her. She's getting, gonna make this big debut in WWE and NXT, and then she gets injured right before. That kind of.
Right.
Do you think WWE should stop allowing these wrestlers to finish their dates before coming in?
Well,
Or
I mean, if she signed a deal, she kind of has to finish the dates.
yeah,
But I think, I think if, I think maybe the whole, how he let Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler
yeah,
do that thing on WrestleMania weekend at the blood sport, and those things are gonna be harder for WWE to do if those things are gonna be harder to do if people are getting hurt. It's gonna be harder to let
mm,
WWE, want to let them do those things
yeah, for
because
sure.
they are under big contracts.
Yeah,
They're under big contracts, and it's one thing to get hurt on WWE and not be able to be able to do your dates. So, yeah, it's kind of sucks because like it's trying to let people do that. Because, like I said, the WWE is competition. And to get certain talents to come to WWE, it's
All right. I kind of lost you there.
How'd you lose me?
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't hear you for a second. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You also had William Regal's son go over and do stuff for Noah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting
Well,
to see if this continues
no,
now that Julie got injured. So
he did all Japan.
or all Japan. I knew one of those, whatever show it was over there. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they allow these guys to continue to do this stuff. I mean, I know they have like working agreements and stuff, so that's why Julia's getting to do it. They're working with her, but this kind of sucks. Hopefully, she makes a full recovery soon and she's able to show up in NXT on time. So NXT, we had a couple more qualifying matches for the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. Fallon Henley defeated Thea Hale. Um, and then also Jaida Parker defeated Brindley Reese to qualify. So I think there's one more match next week, which will determine the final participant. Also on this show, Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeated Channing Lorenzo and Luca Crucifino to defend the NXT Tag Team Championships. Afterwards, the OC attacked Axiom and Frazier and held up the belts. So it appears like the OC are still sticking around in NXT and are winning the NXT Tag Team Championships.
I don't really understand all that.
I don't either. We had a triple threat match to determine the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. Joe Coffey, Wes Lee, and Josh Briggs. This ended in a double pinfall. Coffey headbutted Lee in midair. Both guys fell on top of Briggs, which means it's going to be a triple threat match at the pay-per-view at what is it, Battleground for the North American Championship.
Yeah, so Josh Briggs, they need to just put those guys back together as a heel tag team or something because neither one of them are doing anything on their own. Briggs and Jensen, and Briggs just looked like a total punk here. It's one thing to be double stacked, have two guys stacked and get, but he
Yeah.
got two guys stacked on top. He got pinned by two people. Like from in I don't know about that, man. I think that made him look like a chump.
Yeah. So we also heard from the general manager that we're gonna find out next week who Roxanne Perez will defend the women's championship against at Battleground. She mentioned she talked to Pierce and Smackdown general manager Aldis. So who is it gonna be? I assume it's gonna be someone from the main roster, I guess. I wonder who it's gonna be that's gonna come down and challenge for the championship. We'll find out next week, but
Yeah,
it's in it this week, I guess. But I don't know who it's
yeah,
gonna
it's really weird that they needed to have both of them consult her. Like if it was a person on one roster, you think it'd just be that GM.
be. Yeah. I don't know. So I guess we'll find out. They just keep making Roxanne defend against all these people. Like, and then that's apparently this is why they're doing it. It's gonna lead to Julia if she's healthy, coming in. But and then we had Lexis King versus Dante Chin. What the fuck?
Yeah, and the crowd was really into Dante Chen, and
He won.
yeah, he won with the small package. Uh, I guess this is Stone's new guy. But I mean Dante Chen's been there a long time, and I think he was going to be in a tag team with Boa, and then they released Boa, so
Yeah. They had to do something with
so
him.
now yep, and
Oh,
he's been doing. I mean, I've seen him wrestle a few times on that Level Up show, and I mean he's smooth in the ring. So I think they should give him a shot.
yeah. I mean, obviously he's been there forever, so uh uh we had a weird metaphor segment where they were talking about Flash and Trick and all this stuff. And Oro Mensa said something And he said, "Are you shaking this man's dreads?" What the fuck does that mean?
I have no idea, dude.
uh, but yeah, I don't like that Trick Williams' first feud as champion is with Metaphor. Like, I like Noam Dar, but like, it's kind of weird that this is his first feud. Like, I don't know. Kind of wish he was somebody else.
I
You know?
mean, Noam Dar is a good first pick, I think, because it's a different kind of competitor. It's a different kind of it's a different kind of storyline. It gets to see if Trick Williams can show his range on how he can perform in different situations.
Yeah.
And Noam Dar is really good in the ring, and I like this for Noam Dar. I'm hoping he gets called up at some point because he's been there for fucking ever, and and he's been hurt a lot, but he's also when he's there though he's always a champion. He's been that friggin' he was that Heritage Cup champion for like 3 fucking years because he was champion in NXT UK and carried it over to NXT and he just he's a great on the mic. I know he's got a crazy accent, but that doesn't matter anymore in WWE.
Yeah.
And and I think he'd be. I mean, yeah, he's a smaller guy, but I think he could be really good in WWE on the main roster. I really do. I think he could make up for his size, and they could even use that as a storyline if they wanted to. He'd be like a little pit bull.
Yeah. Uh, so this week on NXT, Michin and Tatum Paxley will battle, and Kalani Jordan and Ren Sinclair to determine the final two spots in the women's North American Championship thing. Uh, the
Who
final
do you
match,
think's getting in?
the final match tonight was Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice versus Natalia and Carmen Petrovic. Natalia and Petrovic got the win. After the match, Vice attacked Baszler, which led to Ava coming out and saying it'll be Vice and Baszler at Battleground in an NXT Underground match. And that was how the show went off the air.
Who do you think else is gonna? Who out of those two matches? Who do you think's getting in?
Well, it won't be Michin, I doubt. Uh, so I think it'll be Tatum Paxley, and then it'll be. I mean, Ren Sinclair is very new, and I would kind of like to see her in as just kind of like the shocking, underdog type person. But it'll probably be Tatum
Yeah,
Paxley and Kalani Jordan, I'd say.
I think those are safe picks.
I mean, they could put Michin in. I just don't know why they'd put a main roster person in the.
I don't know why she was down here in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make much sense, but yeah. Then we had SmackDown live from Saudi Arabia. Um, we had Bianca Belair and Nia Jax. This was the semifinal of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Nia Jax gets the win. So Nia Jax and Lyra at Queen of the Ring in the finals.
Hmm.
She beat her clean. Nia Jax beat Bianca clean. So
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I picked it, but I wasn't expecting it.
yeah. Then we had the Grayson Waller effect. Um, LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes were on there. Then Blair Davenport had a little promo. Interesting. LA Knight and the Street Profits took on Carmelo Hayes and A-Town Down in a six-man tag team match with Knight and the Street Profits getting the win. Can't put the tag team champions on the pay-per-view, so we'll put them on the show right before.
Yeah, yeah, we were discussing that. How do you feel about these 5 match pay-per-views on the smaller pay-per-views?
It's like I said when we were watching the pay-per-view, if they're going to continue to do this, they're going to have like 2 pay-per-views a month. Like, it's ridiculous you have these pay-per-views and all 4 world champions can't be on the show at the same time. Like, like it's either the world champion or the WWE champion or the world women's champion or the WWE women's champion. Bailey wasn't on Backlash either, I don't think. Was she? Or was
No,
she?
she wasn't. Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah, she defended against Tiffany Stratton and Naomi, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't, the other titles, maybe the mid card tag team titles, maybe don't need to be on every pay-per-view. But I feel like the two women's titles and the two world titles should be on every single. They're the world champions. They're the top titles of the brand. They should be on every pay-per-view. And so I don't know. They're only having 5 match pay-per-views between two brands, and it just a lot of people don't make the show. And it's kind of
Right.
annoying to me. I feel like they're going to continue this. They need to do, maybe it'd be overkill, but you have the Peacock, so you can do whatever you want. Maybe do, except for the main card, do one pay-per-view a month. Raw and SmackDown have separate pay-per-views or something because it's getting real annoying. I don't like it. I like that they're 5 matches, and I like the card, but I like that the pay-per-views aren't going 4 hours now. But at the same time, I kind of want to see champions on the pay-per-views. So
Yeah, yeah. The tag team champions have yet to be on our pay per view since they split the belts up.
yeah, since Mania, they have not had a pay-per-view match. I mean, this pay-per-view, you didn't have the world champion or the women's champion on this show. Like, it's just weird. Like, I just feel like the world champion should be on every show. That's just me. Maybe I'm different, but I just feel like you have a world title, which is, the main title on Raw, and the women's championship. It is the main women's title, and they don't get to be on pay-per-view. It seems kind of stupid. So, speaking of the women's champion, Bailey defeated Chelsea Green. So this was her thing in Saudi Arabia. They flew her out there to have this match.
It was an okay match.
Just she's got nothing, man. Bailey's title reigns, they haven't done much. She was second fiddle to Naomi and Tiffany in that feud. She was just kind of there, and now she's just wrestling random matches. She's got no story right now. It's like she's the
Yeah,
fucking
it's really
women's
weird.
champion. Like,
I mean, she's gonna have a story with Nia Jax, so hopefully we'll see how that goes.
yeah. And then we had the semifinal in SmackDown, Randy Orton and Tama Tonga. What do you think of this match?
It didn't give much time.
No.
It was an okay match. It didn't give much time, which I fear that Tama Tonga is gonna start regretting his decision coming to WWE if they don't give him more time in the ring. He's doing good character work, but yeah, they didn't give him much time here, and the ending was. I know it was rushed, but it seemed kind of. I didn't like the ending because he hit the RKO, but it was not really like he didn't like do anything crazy to hit it. And I'm pretty sure Tama Tonga could do kind of like Seth Rollins, where he could do something really crazy and get hit by that RKO.
Yeah.
And they kind of just did it, and I was like, eh. He had people come down and help Randy Orton, and it was I don't know. It wasn't a great match, but I mean it set up a great match at the pay per view, obviously with him and Gunther, but yeah, I don't know. I wish this match would have had a little more time for Tama Tonga's sake because he is at the end of his career. I mean, he's 40 something years old,
Yeah.
and you want to if you brought him in, you think you'd give him a little more than what he's getting right there. I mean, he made it to the finals though of King of the Ring, so that's something, I guess. But semifinals, but it's just I don't know. Wasn't that great of a match. I was hoping for something better of that match.
The thing is, what's he gonna do as a finishing move? Because he did the RKO
Well,
in New Japan.
he's been using that jumping flatliner
Oh, that's right. And I hate that shit. That's why I don't
that
remember it.
that our truth uses sometimes.
Playmaker or whatever the fuck. Yeah, R-Truth does it. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have a feeling Tonga's gonna revert just back to his tag team guy.
Yeah, I know it sucks.
Him and Tonga Loa are probably just gonna be tag teaming in, and then I mean, it's fine. They want to do that in the main, and now it's. But I want more out of Tama Tonga. And this was fine, but I'm like you, they didn't give him a lot of time, and it was rushed, and it just felt like, you know, hopefully he gets to do more soon, but I don't know. And this new bloodline thing, we'll see where it leads. Obviously, it's a major storyline, so I assume he's still going to be a major player. Whether or not he's wrestling singles matches or not, now we'll see.
Yeah.
Other wrestling WWE news: Cody Rhodes is going to be in the remake of The Naked Gun.
What in the hell?
I don't know. It said originally he was supposed to be making only a cameo appearance, but now it says he's going to have an actual role. The film will
Is
star.
he?
I don't. Maybe he's going to play the. Maybe he's going to play the. The Juice's role, OJ Simpson's role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll have a. Maybe he'll be. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he'll be OJ Simpson since everybody says he's black.
The film stars Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
This sounds like a fucking banger, let me tell you.
And also in other news, Big E has been cast in Peacock's new original comedy series, Laid. He'll be a guest star in a series called Laid. I don't know what that show's about. I assume it's about sex. But
Interesting.
yeah, but he's gonna be guest starring in it. So WWE guys, wrestlers getting some movie roles here. Uh and I think that's about it. I don't know if anything else happened. We'll talk about King and Queen of the Ring later on in the week with our full on review of that show.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna do it for this week's WWE. Last week's WWE, I should say. Stay tuned. We're gonna have AEW talk. We're gonna be talking King and Queen of the Ring. We're gonna be talking uh Double or
Double or
Nothing,
nothing.
and then a very special Super Wrestler Spotlight later on this week. So, Nathan, take us home with this episode of Squared Circle Speak.
Yeah, if you like this content, give us a like, uh, smack that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.